Today, we're going to talk about something that's on everybody's mind, AI. But we're going to look at it through a really interesting lens, not just as some far-off tech, but as a real practical tool for your work, your home, and yeah, even your face. Okay, so before we dive in, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. What is AI really? Well, at its core, it's pretty simple. It's all about technology that helps computers and machines kind of simulate human intelligence, to problem solve like we do. And that basic idea, that's the foundation for everything we're about to get into. To really get a handle on how big a deal AI is, we've got to zoom out of it. See, this isn't just happening out of nowhere. Think about it. It's really the next great leap in a long, long line of world-changing tech. I'm talking about the Industrial Revolution, the invention of the car and the phone, and of course, the internet in the 90s. AI is just the next chapter in that story, and it's a big one. And this quote from Elder David A. Bednar, wow, it just frames our discussion perfectly. He's suggesting we see AI not as something to be afraid of, but as this amazing tool with huge potential for good. I mean, advancing knowledge, improving our quality of life, fostering creativity. That's a pretty optimistic and powerful way to look at it, right? All right, so here's what we've got on the agenda for today's explainer. We'll touch on that next great leap idea, look at a prophetic perspective, then get super practical with AI in your daily life and even as a tool for faith. And we'll wrap it all up with some solid principles for using it wisely. Let's do it. Okay, let's jump into our first big topic, a prophetic perspective. It's all about how faith leaders have thought about these kinds of technological advances. And you might be surprised to find out that this way of thinking, this framework, is actually built on ideas that go back way, way before anyone had even heard of a computer. I mean, check this out. This is a quote from Brigham Young back in 1862. That's over 150 years ago. He's saying that any truly useful discovery in science or art is actually given by direct revelation from God. It totally reframes innovation, doesn't it? It's not just about human genius. It's seen as part of a much bigger, divinely guided plan for all of us to progress. And then, fast forward about a century to 1966. David O. McKay kind of echoes that idea, but he adds this really important warning. He says that these scientific discoveries are going to stagger the imagination, which, let's be honest, AI is doing right now. But, and this is the key part, our responsibility in controlling them will be the most gigantic ever placed in human hands. So you see both sides of the coin, incredible potential, but also immense responsibility. Okay, so that's the high-level perspective. But what does it all mean for you and me right now? How do we take these big ideas and bring them down to earth? Let's get super practical and talk about AI in your daily life, at work, at home, and for learning. There's this fantastic analogy that's used here. Think about what the tractor did for farming. It didn't replace the farmer, but it completely changed the work, right? It automated all the backbreaking manual labor. Well, the idea is that AI is doing the exact same thing for office work today. It's the new automation for knowledge-based tasks. And this quote from Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, just hits the nail on the head. He says, "You are not going to lose your job to an AI, but you are going to lose your job to someone who uses AI." Whoa, that really spells it out, doesn't it? The urgency is real. It's not about the tech replacing you. It's about you learning to use the tech so you don't get left behind. So instead of feeling overwhelmed or anxious about all this, here's a really simple practical action plan for work. It's just 3 steps. First, you document your processes, what you actually do. Then you develop some guidelines for an AI agent to follow. And finally, you tell it which exceptions need a human, you, to review them. It's a super empowering way to start. And listen, this isn't just some theory. This is real-world stuff. An accounting team actually did this. They had a process that was taking them 20 hours a week. 20 hours! They used this method and got it down to seconds, for less than $1 a week. I mean, come on, that's not just an improvement, that is a total game changer. And this exact same logic works at home, too. It's like the dishwasher, right? That automated, a tedious kitchen chore? Well, now, AI can help manage the family calendar, come up with meal plans, or help your kids with their homework. The goal isn't to turn your home into some sci-fi movie. It's about freeing up your time and mental energy for the stuff that actually matters most. Your family, your relationship. And it's not just about managing chores. Think about learning. AI can basically become your own personal tutor.
Imagine you want to learn a new language or a new skill for work. The AI can summarize articles for you, create timelines, even quiz you on what you've learned and track your progress. It's like having a learning assistant that's available 24/7. All right, so we've talked about work and home. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something even more personal: faith. The big question here is, how can a tool like AI support our spiritual lives and work without getting in the way or trying to replace what's secret?
While the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is already putting AI to work in some pretty incredible ways. It's helping to speed up family history research by transcribing old, handwritten journals that used to be impossible to read. It's cataloging historical photos. Basically, it's making history more accessible for every single one of us. And this brings us to what is maybe the most important point in this whole discussion: the line between what AI can do and what it cannot do. It's fantastic for administrative stuff, right? Drafting an agenda, summarizing notes, creating a social media post, absolutely. But what can it not do? It can't replace the Holy Ghost. It can't simulate personal revelation. It can't offer genuine compassion. That's a line we have to be super clear about.
Okay, so let's land the plane here. We've covered a lot of ground. Let's pull it all together with a few clear, simple principles for how to use all this technology wisely.
This quote from Fei Fei Li just nails it. Artificial intelligence is not a substitute for human intelligence. It is a tool to amplify human creativity and ingenuity. I love that. It's not here to think for you. It's here to help you think better. It's an amplifier.
But to use it wisely, you absolutely have to know its weak spots. And there are two big ones to remember. Number one, always verify its sources. Don't just take its word for it. Number two, watch out for what they call hallucinations. This is when the AI just makes stuff up. It sounds plausible, but it's totally false. So the bottom line is, you have to be a critical thinker.
And really, when you boil it all down, the whole framework comes back to this one guiding principle: AI must support and never ever replace your connection with God and the guidance of the Holy Ghost. Technology is the tool. It serves our spiritual goals. It can never ever be a substitute. So, we'll end right here with a question for you to think about. This incredible new tool is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to build something better?